Hey guys, this is UC from iTradePrice. It is Saturday around 2:30 in the afternoon. So yeah, let's get started and go through some of the charts that we follow and trade here at iTradePrice. So looking at the weekly chart, we had a nice big uptrend since the March lows, and for the past few months or weeks now, we have been sort of sideways and range bound between 3350 and 2900 for the most part. So it's just been kind of, finding support at 2900, and then it would find resistance at 3350, right? And it's just holding that that level. Just to give you a quick overlook on the monthly time frame, this could be a good monthly bull flag. So who knows? But for the long-term holders, or if you do leap options or things like that, it's looking fine. It's just consolidating higher towards the highs, and it can go for another breakout. So no breakdown until we start seeing prices come down below 2890 level here, right? So that's been a good support for the past few months now. Okay, so let's get into the weekly action. Range bound with the past, we had few weeks where the price held this nicely level, just below 3100. So from structure point of view, yes, we had a red week, but from the location perspective, we have a higher low and a higher high, right? So that is always a good sign for bulls, that we are making progress in terms of the trend, at least. Yes, overall it was congested. The bars are kind of overlapping as well. Let's get into the daily time frame. The individual Friday daily bar was a bearish trend bar that closed towards the low, but even with this bearishness, it did not go all the way down to take out its weekly low. Still cautiously bullish and watching to see what happens early next week. But if I have to kind of play a little range here, let me draw this a little box here where the price has been trading for the most part, and then it was trading here. So now if we start coming below or break down below this 3125 or the lows of the previous week, we can see something like that, right? Where this congestion support provides support around 3075, 3050 if we break down, or if we continue to move back up towards the highs of previous week and start closing above 3225, 3250, then we can go and target this kind of a price acceptance box here in this part. If I drill down into a 30-minute time frame, you can see we have more bearish bars, right? More consecutive red bars than bullish bars. So if you want to kind of see where the bottom is, you would like to see some sort of consecutive green bars like this. So I don't see anything like that. All the bars that I see right here are bearish, right? You have more bearish trend bars and consecutive bearish trend bars, and there's minimal overlap, right, in the 30-minute time frame. So if you want to try to bottom this thing, see if you get some sort of bottoming pattern where you have more of these bullish trend bars and it overlaps nicely with some sort of support level, right? Because this was resistance, it broke out right here, and then we got support right here. So if we come down and find support here, and you see few 30-minute bars like this, you have consecutive 30-minute bars, and then you get a little bit of dip, sure, get in. That can be a good swing trade back towards the highs of previous week. But we'll have to kind of see that price action before we take that step. Okay, moving on to Apple, the weekly chart. We did manage to break out of this triangle last week on a little bit of nice volume right here, so that is a good sign. And just for your kind of knowledge, I'm just going to break down this price action, right? We had this nice bullish trend bar, right, that closed nicely, and then we had few red weeks, sorry, but with bottom wicks, right? There's a bottom wick, there's a bottom wick. So the price was, the sellers were not finding it easy to keep the price down. We kept on bouncing above that price level, right, from here, 115. And then last week we saw a little bit of this volume come through, and we have a price that closed you know, at the highs and above the triangle. And if you see, the highest close above this price is this one right here. So pretty bullish, I mean, in terms of the weekly chart at least. And moving on into the daily time frame, zoom in here. Yeah, so a little bit of weakness towards the end of last week, but nothing too concerning. Let me bring them levels and I'll increase that. So yeah, I like to put these label my levels here just so that it's easy for me to know what's what and what's the importance of that each level. It's just easy to kind of maneuver and gauge the price action in terms of its location and where it's happening, you know. So if we get a pullback early next week, you know, 120 is a good area to kind of look for that pullback entry in case we get that pullback. And the reason is because this area was resistance, right, moving up. When we broke out of that triangle, that became support. We back tested that support on Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday we have bottom wicks, right? So buyers are finding value in this name, so they are kind of, you know, snapping up shares, finding it cheap. And so if you are playing this swing, the good target to look on the upside is 125.4. Definitely we can go more than that, but that's a good swing high target. The previous weekly high would be 123.8 that bulls would like to see taken out. Here's the weekly close. So any dip can be seen as a buying opportunity if you get there, right? So this is a good pullback, 119.8, because that was resistance on the way up. So when we broke the triangle, that was the low of that day. So that can be a good pullback entry if we get there, which I don't think so here, maybe on Monday, but you never know. Okay, here is the Zoom weekly chart. We have a bearish engulfing pattern, right? Because we opened pretty high above the week before's high, but we closed and engulfed all this candle and just closed towards the low end of the week on some increased volume. This was earnings week as well. We had earnings on Monday of this past week, so we gapped down, but we never managed to get back above the gap, and you'll see that here in the daily time frame. So there you go. You know, we have this big gap down, earnings gap down. The price tried to bounce back up above on Tuesday, Wednesday, but we couldn't really do anything, and since then we've just kind of, you know, remain range bound and just sideways action. So we'll see which way it tries to break out. I would like to be a buyer towards the low end of this recent price action right here. So if we see a big move down, you know, I can definitely go for a first touch bounce play. Or if we open weak right here, reverse back up above Friday's high even, that's a good sign, right? That's a good sign that buyers are finding value in this name and they still want to go with this COVID play and like to see it long. But for really, you know, swing high kind of a position, you want to see buyers taking the price back above this reaction low, that high that we got on after the earnings, right? So that's a bearish trend bar that kind of sticks out really. So you want to get back above that, and then we'll see if we go for that gap fill or not. Okay, so here is the Netflix weekly chart, and you can see we are still holding this long-term support level, right? Support right here, few touch points here, and then right here. So from long-term holding perspective, yes, we are still fine and holding the level. And from it's still moderately bullish, right? We have these 2 weeks of higher lows and higher highs, so that's a good sign. And just lack of bearish price structure in the weekly time frame, right? You don't see any red bars, and you have bottom wick right here. There's a bottom wick right here. Yes, we have a top wick right here as well, but we have to see if we get another top wick, then that will mean yes, we are kind of a weak in terms of the weekly price action. But for right now, I'm moderately bullish on this name. And moving into the daily time frame for Netflix, we have more green bars, right? Consecutive green bars. This was the only red bar we have, and then we did not really see a big follow through to the downside at all. In fact, it held this level of 492, 493 area, where actually we played the bounce from on Friday, right? So it held that area because that was sort of a super resistance for the longest time, and now so far it's nicely acting as a good support level, and we have these moving averages over here as well that are providing support, or at least will provide support if we dip down towards that level. So for the coming week, I'm looking at it to see how it holds this level, and if we start getting some price acceptance above this clutter zone, right, this $10-15 of congestion that it has been holding all this time. If we start getting some closure above this 50 SMA, which is this green line, that's a good sign. That means we are getting some elevated prices, so that's a good sign that we can go for some nice targets towards the next step. That is 515, and then we have a little bit of gap fill above that, so we'll see how that goes. On the downside, however, this has acted as good support, 480, 475 area, so any move towards that level can be good first touch bounce, and then we'll see how it acts, does it hold that level, or if it wants to break down further from that level or not. Okay, BA was a super move this past week, still a good series of higher lows and higher highs, right? So nothing wrong with that picture. Good volume here in the past few weeks, so that is a nice sign. We're back above the 50 SMA. We've had a couple of weeks here close above the 50 SMA, so from medium term perspective, that's a good sign. That's a bullish sign. Okay, and the daily chart of Boeing also, let me bring some levels here. Becomes a little cluttery, but I'll try to expand the size here just so that it becomes a little easy for you to see. Okay, so what's happening is that it's again higher lows and this more bullish trend bars right here in daily, and the red bars that we get are not really powerful, or really do not get much follow through to the downside. Still in the uptrend, and this last Friday session was an inside day. I would like to see a little bit of a pullback actually, and then get back long again. This 226, 223, we have a little bit of gap here, right? So let's see if that gets filled, but anything, a little bit of that there, consolidation, and then move back up can be nice, where this trend line still remains intact, and for higher prices. Okay, so anything over and above 242, we can target 249 area, 245 as targets on the upside for this name. Okay, here's the Tesla weekly chart. Nice few weeks of upside move, right here. The moving average has started to point up, sharply up actually, so it can remain like that for a week or so before, even if this chart remains sideways or goes sideways to slightly down, while this kind of catches up, so not bad. We did move down this weak, but really, 540 level provided good support, so that's a good sign. We broke out of this flag right here, right, in the weekly time frame, so that's good. Let's see how far we can target this if it's considered a flag. So yeah, this is a pole right now, 285 to, let's say, 460, let's say 180 points. So 180 points from here would be 460, another 100 is 560. So yeah, I'd say 640, 650 can be a good target here in the short term if this kind of keeps pushing up nicely. In the daily time frame, again, we did gap down midweek here, but then that gap was completely reversed. Right here is the gap down, and then it completely reversed that gap back up, so essentially making this some sort of like an island reversal. I don't know if that's a pattern, I think. So we have held 582 level since the past two sessions, and this 600 level has been the resistance. But one good thing here in the daily time frame is that this Friday close was the highest close in the daily time frame. Yes, we have been above that price level, but we never closed, right? The highest close was actually on Thursday, right? And then we made another highest close on Friday. So that's a series of two bullish close price action. So it looks nice here in the short term. It can gap up on Monday, and let's see if it goes back above 608. That's even bullish, and then again that target of 640, 650 kind of remains in the play. But if we go back week, I would look for this gap on the downside to be filled, where this white what is that, 9 SMA here in the can also kind of catch up to this price, which is always nice when you have support of these moving averages. But with this euphoric of a name, you never know. This can just kind of keep flying for right now with the momentum that is built in this stock. Okay, so we'll stick with price levels when it comes to trading this name, and just try to enter our trades at or around these price levels, just to kind of maximize and give ourselves a high probability setup where the price moves fast when it comes and touches that price level, rather than getting stuck here in the middle of these price levels, because then you don't know where it will go up or down, and you're just kind of chopping yourself out. Okay, so always try to enter at these price levels when you are trading active names like these. Okay, here's the chart of SPY in the weekly time frame. Good weekly bullish close above this recent range of between 364 and 354 price range. So good push up, a little uptick in the volume as well. So it is what it is. It's bullish price action, called. I mean, you can say it's overextended, whatever, but the price is the price. Even, you just can't argue with that. And we have had few gap ups, and those gaps don't really get filled to the downside. So the pressure remains up. And, you have these bullish trend bars, right, in the daily time frame, right? Multiple ones, right? There's 1, 2, and then even on Friday. And then the red bars are not trend bars. The bearish bars will have these bottom wicks. So that's, even on a red day, we have a bottom wick. So that means the buyers are stepping in even on the weakness and keeping the price up. So, yeah, I mean, just, we can keep riding this short-term moving average here, this white line you see. We can keep riding that, right, unless or until we start seeing the price get back below 364. This was a box. This was the box. So if we get back below 364, sure, I can target 359 or even 354 area if we kind of get a little dump. But other than that, it's just not coming down. So if you're playing this name, look for 364 as a support level. Anything below that, 359 as dip buys for right now, unless or until we are proven otherwise. Okay, so this was the weekly episode. Hope you guys like it. If you have any questions, feedback, drop me a note, and hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Take care.